Hello, my name is Cookie. I am a world traveler, and in this vlog, I am in my home country, South Africa, and I am visiting my favorite city in the world, Cape Town. If you want to see what makes Cape Town the best city in the world, according to Time Out, keep watching until the end. I am visiting some of the massive places in Cape Town. This is episode 4 of my Cape Town series. You may want to go back and watch the first 3 episodes. So enjoy Cape Town, South Africa. Please like and share the video. Also subscribe if you like watching great travel content. Green Market Square is our first stop. It is a historic site. Previously, it was a slave market, then it transitioned into a vegetable market, and now it is being used as a flea market, selling mainly African art and souvenirs. A slave market in South Africa, you're probably wondering. Yes, South Africa has a history of slavery. Our next stop will be the Slave Lodge, where we will learn about the history of slavery in South Africa. I have not been to Green Market Square in years, so I am loving it here. I love this flea market, and also I am looking for bangles that we wear with our traditional attire. Hopefully, I find the bangles. This just brought back memories. I grew up in the era of enamel cups and plates. The first thing that people would do back in the day once they got themselves a little bit of money was to get rid of the enamel cups and plates. They just symbolized poverty. This is not made out of real ivory. Really? Okay.
Always different sound.
Yeah.
And different animals also. And you can make your own music, yeah?
Yeah, look. Nice. We were about to leave the flea market, and at this point, I had asked several vendors if they had the bangles, and they didn't. So I just took a chance and explained to this gentleman, and he had the bangles. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I found the bangles in Cape Town. In ancient times, in certain African kingdoms, royal women would wear these bangles, but theirs were made out of pure gold. This is verifiable information. You can Google the Mapungubwe Gold Collection. Mapungubwe was a thriving African civilization. Yes, Africa was civilized and had thriving civilizations before the first European ever set foot in Africa to colonize ancient African kingdoms and civilizations. The Dutch colonizer Jan van Riebeeck arrived in Table Bay, Cape Town in 1652. During apartheid, we went through Bantu education and we were taught that Jan van Riebeeck discovered this land. How do you discover a land where people were already living and thriving? This was an attempt to wipe our heritage and identity. Because once your mind is colonized, then they have won. And we see the after effects of colonization even today. When in Cape Town, be sure to visit Iziko Museum. A tour at this museum is a lesson in the making of South African society. It teaches you why South Africa is so diverse when it comes to the different racial groups and different cultures. People were captured and loaded onto boats. As the boats traveled, they would dock at various ports and they would be sold. A large percentage came from East and West Africa, places such as Ghana, Mozambique, Madagascar, Zanzibar. There were also enslaved people from India and other parts of Asia, such as Southeast Asia, that is Malaysia and Indonesia. In my previous video, I visited Bokap. Bokap was declared a Malay quarter during colonial rule. The Cape Malay people originated from Indonesia. Bokap is one of the iconic historic places in Cape Town. In case you were wondering, are all black South Africans descendants of Africans who were enslaved from other parts of the continent? The answer to that question is no. In South Africa, there were already Africans who were living on the land. So those who were enslaved and brought in and sold to the colonizers in the Cape were a small number, a minority, as compared to the local indigenous people who were already living and thriving on this land. And we remember those who were ripped away from everything that they knew, shipped across the ocean, and brought to this land that we call South Africa today to help build it to what it is. To you, we say thank you. You know, when you understand your history as an African, the making of Africa, you will understand that things like xenophobia, which is pure self-hatred have no place in our society. Those are the after effects of colonialism because it has been so successful in teaching us self-hatred. So we hate each other and we will pull each other down, pull each other down. And you'll find this behavior among people who were colonized and enslaved. Can you imagine a world where Africans and people of African heritage are united? It would be a totally different world. What I love most about traveling is immersing myself in different experiences. I went to Ghana and I visited two slave castles. Those videos are up, you can watch them. Learning about world history and the history of African people, my people, forever changed how I show up in the world. It affirms me and reminds me that I am deeply rooted in something that is unshakable. So I am unshakable. Now you see how this ties in with where we started the vlog at Green Market Square, where enslaved people were sold. This room tells the story of how European colonizers were able to enslave people and also to take away the land from Africans. Decades after apartheid ended in South Africa, descendants of European colonizers, South Africa's white Afrikaners are descendants of European Dutch colonizers. A large percentage of land is still in white hands. This is an issue that the South African government is trying to address. You cannot have a minority owning a large percentage of fertile arable land. This is why the South African democratically elected government has put in place land reform programs because these are issues that need to be addressed. Apartheid only ended in 1994. question then becomes, are we truly free and emancipated when we still do not have economic freedom? This is the bungalow. I love visiting this restaurant when I'm in Cape Town, especially on a beautiful day like today, because I like to sit outside and enjoy this gorgeous, gorgeous view. Whenever I travel, I always ask my guide to sit and have lunch with me, especially when I'm on a private city tour. We swapped seats so I could face the ocean. My guide is having lamb chops with mashed potatoes, and I am having chicken with rice. Lunch was amazing. The food here is always good. Now we are heading to our next stop, to Clifton Beach. are making our way back to Greenpoint, where I am staying while in Cape Town. You can see my apartment tour in my first Cape Town video. We will make one last stop along the way at Bantry Bay to see the Rock Beach. How beautiful is Cape Town? Cape Town is indeed the best city in the world, and it is in Africa. You see, when you know who you are and you are rooted in your African identity, you occupy space and you're unapologetic about it. I love Cape Town, and as the South African Constitution says, South Africa belongs to all who live in it. Thank you so much for watching, and to my audience from across the globe. I hope you learned something new about my home country, South Africa, and you know what to see when you visit Cape Town. Please like the video and subscribe. Subscribing is free. I will see you next time. Until then, please take care of yourself and may God bless you.